All right, so we are back after a few days since the last clip there, and we've got the third member painted now. Everything's kind of reassembled. We still don't have the drive flanges in. It's gonna have to come back out when we paint the axle, but we got the steel now for our links. So what we have here is we have 1.25 eighth wall, which gives us our 1-inch ID for the threaded inserts that we're going to use for our rod ends. And then we have a piece of 2x2 eighth wall steel, and we're going to use that to brace. We're going to probably end up adding a shock tower in here for the coilovers, and then we're going to use it to help brace this cross member up as we use it to mount our upper Lincoln. As you can also see, we've got the box removed now. The box on this was pretty rusty and was going to be replaced anyways. So what better way of doing this from the top side? We also have the truck sitting on its weight on the front tires, and we have a jack stand under the rear bumper, getting us pretty close to ride height. Now, it's still a little higher than it's going to be. Obviously, there's no box on the back, so we got to account for the extra weight from that. And the front, although it's sitting on the ground, the way your control arms travel in an arc as they compress, the front will actually end up a touch lower as it rolls back and forth. But we're not going to worry about any of that right now. This is close enough. So we're going to get the axle re-squared up. We're going to get the pinion angle set again, and then we're going to start building the links. So for the links, what we decided to do was we're going through Barnes 4-wheel drive for pretty much all of the hardware on this. It's a place my brother's been using a bunch on the Nissan project here. They seem to be pretty fair prices compared to places like Rough Stuff Specialties and Ballistic Fabrication, stuff like that. They're quick shipping, fair prices, seem like good quality products. So anyways, what we have here is we have a 2-inch wide, 3/4 forged bushing. So the reason we're using bushings for all of this is because if anybody's ever used rod ends or Heim joints on stuff, you've probably experienced the noise that the solid mount from the Heim actually transmits back into the frame. And you end up with a lot of road noise and stuff, just noise from the ring and pinion even, it all gets transmitted back in because there's no soft bushing to absorb any of that. So we're going to use bushings on all ends of this. So we have the threaded insert here. Again, this is set up for a 1-inch ID. Actually, this is meant for 1.5-inch quarter wall, but quarter wall DOM, not only was it triple the price, it was also way overkill for what we're doing. You got to remember, we're not building an off-road truck here that's real heavy, and we're going to have very short links. I mean, we're figuring 26 inches for our lengths, and that's eye to eye. So, by the time you add the bushing and whatever else, the tube itself is only going to be like 21-ish, 22-ish inches long. So, this is going to be more than adequate enough for that. These do have a Zerk for them. I don't have them installed right now just so they don't get damaged while we're mocking everything up and doing it. And then the rest of our hardware kit here, what we've got is these bushings that we're going to use for the front, so for the front of the links, we're going to mount them into the front leaf spring hangers. So Barnes offered this one that has a 9/16 hole, just like the factory leaf springs do. 3 inches wide, just like factory leaf springs. So we're going to mount that in the leaf spring hole. And to do that, the first step we're going to have to do is use the tubing notcher and cut the radius here so that we can add our bushing sleeve to it. We're going to get this set up in the notcher here. We're going to tack everything all together, and we'll get this end done first and then hook up our axle side. So let's get to it. Okay, so we just got done here with the notcher. Maybe we'll film the next link. It's just really loud is all, but anyways, that's got a nice fit there. So we'll go ahead and we'll get the center line on this measured, measure center on our tube, and tack them together. We're not going to fully weld them yet, just so we don't get a ton of heat in them and have to wait, you know, for everything to cool off before we put the bushings in them. But we'll get everything tacked together now and get everything built, and then can finish weld it later on.
Cool.
Yep. Good enough.
These brackets and...
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking. We can just sit here and look at them and see what's going to make the most sense if we put them vertically like that, which probably does, right? I know they're kind of designed to be more of a skid plate, not necessarily mounted vertically, but I think that's going to give us good separation on the links, though.
It's a street truck.
Yeah. No, I think that's going to work perfect. So, yeah, I'll just, we'll put an angle finder on it and make sure it's at 0 degrees or even a level. And once that's tacked to the axle, then we'll know how long to cut our link. Okay, so we've got the bracket tacked on. We just simply used a zip tie here to hold everything tight while he was getting it mocked up, so I didn't have to have my hands in the way. And we just put the angle finder in the back, made sure that back plate of this bracket was vertical, so it would be easy to duplicate on the other side. So now we're gonna cut the zip tie here and mark this tube right at the bottom of this radius. So right about there. So, all right, now we'll go ahead and get this one back off. We're gonna cut this side in the bandsaw so it's nice and straight, deburr it, make sure everything fits here, and then we'll tack this side together, and then it will be good to fully weld both the link and this bushing while I start getting the other side set up. There we go. All right, so we got our lower links kind of done here now, and in place. Just gonna get the drive shaft in here first before we do the upper link mount, just so we don't run into any surprise clearance issues on that. You know what we probably should do too?
What's up?
Is double check our wheelbase. See where we're at real quick. Because if we gotta turn those links in, I feel like I slid the drive shaft out quite a bit from where we were. And but anyways, we'll just double check that. You know, if we gotta shorten them up a little bit, we do before we make the top link.
Yeah, make sure we're within our adjustment range.
Yep, absolutely. So there's the drive shaft. Make sure our pinion angle still is right in our 3-degree ballpark. Right around there. You think? Close enough? Okay, so the next part here that we gotta mess with is trying to figure out the top link mount. So we're going to start wire wheeling some of the dirt and undercoating off there and try to figure that out. We've got these brackets for our upper link mounts. They're probably excessively tall, but they come in a pair here from Barnes 4-wheel drive. I think they were like $29 for the pair of them. So we'll put one right on top of the housing. We'll put one probably under that. I don't know. Now that we've actually got them,
we got some figuring out to do. We can go here, and we might need to tweak that heat shield a little bit. Make sure we're sitting
the big thing
somewhat
is
happy.
We've got plenty of drive shaft clearance. That was the one thing I had a little bit of concern about. But that one, I think we probably ought to just cut that bracket right in half. So we got our top link, what we think is done. Everything's at least tacked in here for now. We actually went as far as snapping a chalk line down the side of the truck just to try to find the anti-squat and everything. Because the big goal is we got to make sure the thing has traction. You know, I mean, if you build one that squats like crazy and never really hooks up, what's the point of doing it? You know, so anyways, that's kind of what we came up with. So we got the angle finder now on the pinion again. We're going to cycle the floor jack and see what we come up with for pinion gain throughout the stroke here. We're down to about 2 degrees.
It really hasn't changed a whole lot, has it?
No.
I mean, that's probably
Bottomed out.
2.5, 3 inches up travel right there. That's all she's gonna have.
Yeah. Maybe we're down.
Take the floor jacks and test a little bit of feedback.
Yeah. Yeah. We might be down to 1 degree. But we expected that with the short link and stuff up top. Yeah, plenty of clearance. Maybe we might be up to 4 degrees right now.
I think that's more droop than the truck will ever see.
Yeah, me too. Yep, that's definitely drooped down pretty good, so I think it's gonna work. Not bad. So I'm gonna go notch that tube and get ready to put our bushing end on it for the track bar, and then I guess Walker's gonna finish up some welding here and
weld up that length, and if we agree on our brackets and our angles and what have you,
why not?
We'll burn at least brackets on.
Yeah, at least get the housing and stuff welded now, you know, instead of crawling under the truck to do that one. All right, I'm gonna get that tube notched, and then when you're done welding this, we can weld the bushing end on there, and then we'll go home.
Yeah, we'll burn, if we're good with that length, then we can weld those inserts on that upper length. And
yep.
Be about a wrap for this
evening, at least.